Now tell me something about this whole ecosystem you're operating in. There is a certain level of maturity that's there and that's evolving pretty quickly as well. The talent supply in the ecosystem is still in early days as far as the depth and concern across, especially the subjects like marketing and CRM, which is the core subject of our attention. That's a classic state of retention marketing, right? What is your impression of the maturity of the different markets you operate in? And you can pick up one, whichever is your favorite, and we'll probably go a little bit into each of these geographies.
For sure, UAE is more mature when it comes to digital as compared to Saudi. And Saudi, as we all know, is the next big thing in terms of transformation.
Sure.
And one thing, probably a couple of insights which would be interesting for the viewers would be like UAE or like Middle East generally is a very app-heavy market, right? So unlike the West or unlike like Eastern markets where web experiences are actually almost as good as the app experiences, and web usually has 40-50% of the business share. It's unlike that in the region where most of the businesses, even if you look at the most mature digital businesses like Landmark, like almost an $11 billion conglomerate in the region,
right?
Or if you look at a small business which is doing about half of it or 1/4 of it, you would see a common denominator, which is app, right? If a business has an app, their contribution for revenue is sitting at 80-85%.
Wow.
And this contribution even looks higher in Saudi. If you were to look only in Saudi Arabia, it goes up to 90%, right? So that's an interesting thing for a marketer because right from performance to CRM, the channels that you're using, the communication that is going out, the way the product teams are structured, everything changes by being app first, right?
Sure.
So that's one like interesting insight. And I think it's just evolving, continuously evolving in the last 4 or 5 regions. 4 or 5 years.
And in terms of the whole maturity on CRM practices, you said UAE is more mature. Is this because it started off in this journey sooner? There is a larger talent pool available, people who have, let's say, come from different parts of the world to now bring slightly advanced practices. What's your lens on why is this the way it is?
Well, I think you said it correctly because firstly, like the population percentage, if you look at the split, 90% are expats, 10% are locals. And within that, you would have a lot of expats coming in from India. India is the number one expat population, followed by UK and other like European plus South Asian countries. So these are digitally matured markets as compared to UAE, right? So when this talent pool comes in, they bring their own set of like experience, tooling, and hence like from a maturity perspective, UAE has been able to kind of become a lot more mature in a faster way as compared to Saudi. And Saudi is undergoing that wave at the moment.
So if I were to put the state of retention maturity in terms of just the people's practices, what they're able to take live in their product experiences and consumer journeys, if India were to be on a scale of 1 to 10 at, let's say, 10, just to kind of index the benchmarking, where would you rate some of these markets from the Middle East region?
I would say UAE is probably a 6, going into 7 soon. Saudi would be like around 3 to 4. And I think the other countries are pretty much in the same range in GCC, in the Saudi range.
In the Saudi range. So would that mean a certain level of opportunity for SellThru to actually pay greater attention to these markets where the whole evolution is yet to happen and you can help accelerate that?
Exactly, right. So Uncle, what I'm doubling down on is like, for me, offering CRM and having that early mover advantage means working very closely with partners like WebEngage.
Sure.
Having a very strong relationship, and then collectively foreseeing the challenges that the customers will face in the next 12 months in the regions like Saudi and other developing areas, and catering them with like products or services or solutions that you foresee, right? So for example, one good example would be Saudi is such an interesting market where you would get like, some business reaches out and you're like, okay, sure, let me Google this business. What do they do? You will find a website which is half-baked. There is no alignment of UI, UX, checkout process is very cumbersome. And then you go check, they have like 800 stores. You're like, but what's going on, right? Like their website is not functioning correctly, but they have 800 stores, right? So with 800 stores, you can imagine the data that they're sitting on, the footfall that's coming in, the number of offline customers. They must be operating for the last 10, 15 years, right? So in that sense, like now if you change this problem statement into the potential opportunity, both for you guys and for us, where these guys, they want to go through the digital transformation.
Sure.
They want to use their first party data.
Mm-hmm.
They want to create omni-channel experiences. They want their customers offline to move online and have an app, and start making purchases online or omni-channel to increase the purchase frequency of the business and so on. But they don't know how.